dispel.
Against the
He also
UA
has him
Warlock?
using-
With that,
Yeah, he's
like,
using no Trent as well.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to
He's
see how
probably
that
gonna
works out for him.
He's gonna have to play really far back if he's planning on dispelling a lot, because if he gets caught on UA dispel, it could be the death of him. Jax once again securing the gateway with the sap onto Tony. Probably going to be opening onto him the full kidney. The haunt connects with full dots out from Evs. The shamanistic rage used immediately. TKO overlapping it with the iron bark as well. And I don't believe that was the adrenaline rush, so a bit of an overlap of cooldowns might be costing Tony's life here on the next cooldown rotation.
And we see Hada just dispelling over and over with that double dispel glyph, but like you said, he has to be very careful that he doesn't get caught in caster form on the UA dispel. He'd be big trouble. The bash going out on Antijax from Hotted. He does have that Nature's Vigil up now, so his Hots are empowered. He's going to be able to keep Tony and Lossa quite offensive. Hotted just going to fully sit that blind right now as Tony does have full Hots. The sap coming out from Antijax onto Hotted. Will they be able to capitalize on it? It doesn't look like it so far. Lossa taking a little bit of damage, but nothing too major at the moment.
Yeah, and the Haunt is fading off of Tony right now, so he's not going to be taking a lot of damage from Zevs. The evasion used by Antijax. Seems like Lossa wants to go after Psytrix. He's going to give up the chase as Psytrix is line-of-sighted here. The second Dark Soul being popped for Evs. He wants to get a lot of rot pressure rolling right now. He already has full dots on the entire team. Hotted TKO preemptively going into bear form quite a lot, expecting a Shadow Step kidney swap to himself. A full Hex landed on the meantime on Psytrix, getting Tony from the Bronx a lot of pressure on Antijax, and they could just swap over to Psytrix out of it should they choose to do it. The Ren's already up. Blood Horror comes out to try and get these melee DPS off of Zez, but double shockwave going to land. Antijax popping the adrenaline rush can be answered by the Iron Bark and regen. Hotted TKO caught in the Hodge. Tony's just going to be able to heal him up, though. They've used a lot of their stuns. They're going to actually try and swap to Hotted TKO. He displays their beast with the killing spree. He's taking an immense amount of damage down to 40%. He's going to nature shift this back to 50. Lossa desperately peeling Jax right now, and he's doing a decent job. Hotted should be able to survive with that bash on the Jax.
Yeah, he still he has his bark skin and trinket too, so they weren't really able to force many cooldowns there. Still spamming out those dispels over and over to keep his team clean. Pardon me. Antijax, Evs, and Psytrix really not under any pressure whatsoever at the moment. As the game goes later and later, this Triple Cleave is going to be looking for dampening. I mean, yeah, this is just one of those matchups where both teams have so many defensive cooldowns. It's hard to really push through until a little bit later in the game. Psytrix is taking a lot of damage, though, down to 50% HP. Going to get those flash of lights off, pardon me, and top himself off. Hotted getting swapped to, though, by Antijax. Is in bear form, has full Hots, making sure he doesn't line of sight Tonyjr. Has that Nature's Vigil up. His Hots are going to be empowered at the moment. Tonyjr and Lossa pushed in quite a bit right now. Still trying to connect on the Psytrix. He does have that freedom up. He's able to get away and top himself off.
Yeah, Zevs is going to trinket that bash and pop the Dark Soul. He's already got a Haunt up on a Hotted TKO. The dances are flying at him as well. Antijax Shadow steps over into the full kidney shot. They might be able to kill him through Barkskin. Tony desperately Nature Swiftness healing surging him twice in a row, keeping him alive there. The Barkskin going to be forced as well as the NS. He still has his trinket remaining, which is going to be huge here to answer the kidney killing spree that's going to be coming shortly. They're going to swap to Psytrix while the pressure is at a down point for Drop Novoz, and they're getting him pretty low at 30% with the Recklessness out from Lossa, forcing the Bubble and Hellstone at the same time here. Hotted TKO pushing in. Tony pre-tremoring the Howl. Good tremor there, but Hotted now caught into a full Hodge as he pushed in here deep. They're not putting out too much damage, though. Now to the half kidney, the Safeguard's going to come out to reduce even more damage. The evasion being popped by Jax. He wants to stay offensive here, build towards that red buff and take Hotted TKO down, but he's just camping bear form for now, and if he stuns into that, he's not going to be able to kill him.
Yeah, Evs actually lost his pet there. Lossa and Tonyjr killed it off, and they just let him hard summon it in the middle of the map. That might be a strategy they could do, kill off the pet and actually stop Evs from resummoning. Antijax now, though, in the bash, down to 40% HP. Psytrix under a lot of pressure. Too caught into that shockwave. Save with the light. Still available for both of them. He's going to use that Wings Execution sentence, top himself off. Antijax using that Cloak of Shadows will likely get topped off as well, as Psytrix still does have that Avenging Wrath up. The Hodge, though, on Hotted, has Barkskin up. He's loaded up with full Hots. The Safeguard coming out from Lossa on a Hotted TKO right now. The Barkskin's still going to be up for another 5 seconds. He's hovering around 40% HP. Still in a little bit of trouble. The Vigil comes out. And us as well. The Denounce is coming in over and over from Psytrix, though. Hotted finally able to get away and top himself off. But that was a lot of pressure there, and they were able to force Trinket as well as Barkskin.
Smoke Bomb onto Tony. He's going to have to Trinket out to survive this, but now full blind with no Trinket. Tony has to be able to sustain himself. He doesn't have Shamanistic Rage. A double Shockwave comes up, but the Dark Soul is up from Evs. The Hodge now onto Hotted TKO. It looks like they're going to be making a swap over to him. The Howl of Terror onto Tony. He's not going to be able to heal him up. The Dark Soul is still rolling here. Hotted TKO leaves the stun. Going to be putting Jax into a bash. Lossa pressuring Psytrix in the backline. Full half kidney onto Hotted now. Psytrix at 50%. Hotted at 60. Both healers getting pressured. Psytrix getting locked out there. Trying to get some cast off finally. Lossa, the Haunt, gets thrown onto him at 50%. He's going to be rotted down here. We're about to start dampening in 9 seconds, which is going to be pressuring these healers' mana. Finally, the Shockwave landed onto Psytrix, however, by Lossa. The on-use trinket being popped. Execution Sentence does nothing. He's going to gate away. Heroic Leap follow-up. Tony gets kidneyed, though. The Haunt's going to connect, forcing the Iron Bark out from Haunted here. He's trying to not overlap it with the Shamanistic Rage. Doing a good job so far, not overlapping that major cooldown. Tony desperately trying to push in, though. But the other side, they're going to be switching over to Haunted TKO. Once again, he's not in bear form. Into the half Hodge, the Barkskin and Safeguard, and heals out from Tony, though. Buying him enough time to survive the Stunlock. He's going to be able to get the Hots rolling. And now Tony and Lossa are on the offensive, chasing Psytrix down.
Haunted going to be... pardon me. Paladin's going to be in a little bit of trouble coming up. He doesn't have a trinket for another 27 seconds. Meanwhile, Psytrix taking a lot of damage, using that Avenging Wrath, trying to get some heals onto himself, casting the Holy Lights, trying to fake the interrupts from Tonyjr and Lossa. Finally able to get some healing on himself, but Save with the Light procking, still just faking over and over and over, trying to get those kicks out of the way. The Hodge, though, onto Haunted. He is in bear form at the moment, so they're not going to be able to make too much happen onto him. He's taking some pressure, caught in the kidney shot. He has no Barskin for another 20 seconds. Iron Bark available in 8 seconds, but he's going to be completely fine because he pre-bear formed that. Psytrix Wing's going to fade now, and Lossa and Tonyjr still on his back, doing a lot of damage to him. He popped that shield wall for himself, uses the freedom. He's going to get away, get a few casts on himself. Antijax and Ev's doing an excellent job peeling Tony as well as Lossa, but now they're able to reconnect onto him. Tony in a lot of trouble, though, down to 37% HP. Doesn't have too many hots. Finally, Hotted able to throw out that NS on him. He's going to be able to secure and top off his HP, pop that Nature's Vigil to empower his hots. Psytrix still the one under pressure, though. 39% HP. No Save by the Light available for another like 10 seconds. Word of Glory is coming out, able to get some casts on himself. Beautiful Fears coming out from Zevs, able to give Psytrix the time he needs to top himself off.
Unfortunately, Zev's getting locked out twice in a row. He's trying to get the dots rolling as the Hodge gets thrown onto Haunted TKO. The Haunts are flying out, but Psytrix is the one on the back foot. Finally, the kidney shot coming out from Jax. He's going to cloak offensively. The Fear's onto Tony to try and deny some off-healing, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. The Haunt's going to fade. He's going to get these Hots rolling. Now the Haunt thrown onto Tony, trying to create some spread pressure with these remaining seconds of Dark Soul. Psytrix still getting pressured, though. He's going to be forced to use the Avenging Wrath. He's going to get shockwaved on it. Colossus Smash comes up. He's getting chunked down to 40% HP. Aura Masteries. He has to get some cast off here. Haunted TKO is just standing in the front line here in bear form, but a Howl of Terror going to be fearing up the entire team. A bash onto Antijax is going to be able to get sat through. Now the full Hodge onto Haunted. Fear onto Tony. He's got to be able to get some off heals rolling. The Safeguard comes through. Denounces are flying. Cheap shot on Haunted TKO. Has to trinket a 1-second cheap shot to get the Iron Bark up here. Barkskin still not available for 18 seconds. The NS going to be topping him off. Tony in the meantime popping the Ascendance, pressuring Psytrix is held down here. He gets charged on at 30%, being forced into the bubble here. Tony's Junior Ascendance paying its weight in gold. Haunted TKO, though, now a bit on the back foot. He's going to be having to wait for that Barkskin and camping the bear form, but the spread pressure is starting to look good for Tony from the Bronx.
Yeah, absolutely. We're at 18% dampening right now. It's going to keep going up over and over and over as the minutes and seconds go by. Antijax caught into that shockwave at the moment. Psytrix still the one under trouble, though. He does have that wall up right now, but how long will it last? This is Lossa's Recklessness just faded. They're able to proc Save by the Light on Psytrix. Just another cooldown to work through. Lossa caught into that full kidney shot right now. He is the target of choice for Ebbs and Antijax. He's down to 60% HP, but Haunted should be able to fully heal him up, dispelling him over and over, getting those hots on him. He's going to be able to top him off. And now Psytrix, Mana might be the name of the game. Finally, the gateway comes off cooldown. He's able to gate away, but Lossa with the heroic leak pummel onto Psytrix. He's in a lot of trouble, able to get that bop off at the last second. If Tony can get in, though, he shocks his heel. He might be able to dispel the bop, and they could finish him off right now. He's able to get off a cast. Yeah, beautiful howl coming out of Evs right now. He has that Demon Soul up, the wings coming up from Psytrix. This might be their chance to stabilize and turn the game around. Antijax still in a lot of trouble, though. Haunted TKO gets that Iron Bark. He's in bear. He has only a rejuve on himself right now, finally getting out of bear to toss out those hots on himself. He's going to be completely fine at the moment. Evs not really able to make too much happen with that Demon Soul. He has another one available in another minute, but that's quite a long time away. Haunted, though, in a lot of trouble. The Barkskin onto him. The DR Hodge coming out, 45% HP. Tonyjr spamming out the heals, though, saving Haunted life. The Nature's Vigil coming out of him, empowering those hots a little bit. Still, more heals coming in from Tony. Haunted going to be completely fine. Psytrix in a lot of trouble, though. 39% mana. The Save of the Light proccing on him. He has at 30% HP. He's trying to get the cast off. Gets a Holy Light off. Gets DR bashed, though, by Haunted. This could be the end of the game. 16% HP. He's going to get executed by Lossa. And the first game is going to go to Tony from the Bronx.
Wow, that was an intense game, man. I mean, both of these healers could have died there, and there it is. The very first game is going to go to Tony from the Bronx. That game did reach 28% dampening here. So that being said, Tony from the Bronx does have multiple compositions available to them. But let's see. Let's see if they're going to do the same thing. They're probably going to do the same thing, huh, Supatis?
Yeah, I think that Turbo Cleave is like one of the main things a Holy Paladin has a problem with right now, if there was something. And it's mostly because all of his utility is negated. Like his bops can be purged, his stacks can be purged. There's a lot of just extra stuns like Charge or Fear to interrupt his Aura Mastery. There's so many ways to disrupt them, and they're just so tanky that they can survive long enough to really eventually just push him over. So, but
Yeah.
they did a good job. Outside of the beginning, I feel like they overlapped a little bit too much. They could have cost him Tony's life in the beginning, but after that, they didn't overlap any cooldowns, which is why they're able to just stabilize themselves so well.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we see time and time again from Tony from the Bronx, is their ability to really rotate those defensive cooldowns quite well and keep their team alive for as long as possible. It's really impressive stuff coming out from that team, to be expected, to be quite honest with you. Though, dropped Novoz were good. They're going to bring the game to Dalaran Sewers, a smaller map. Not nearly as small as, say, Ruins of Orderon. It still has some pillars, I guess, some boxes for people to line of sight and position. But it is still a smaller map, so let's see how that is going to help out this team, and we're going to jump into it here. I'll see you guys in just one hot minute. Alright guys, here we go. Dropped Novoz. We're good going up against Tony from the Bronx here in the very first series of tournament number 16. We are currently in round 1 in this best of 3 series. But being in the winner's bracket is definitely the place to be if you're going to want to take this tournament seriously. So both of these teams are still fighting for that winner's bracket spot. Here we go.
We'll see how it goes. Antijax using that Shroud of Concealment right away. Ev's able to get out that Demonic Gateway because of that quite easily. The sap going out onto Tonyjr. They're going to open up onto Lossa. Use that Adrenaline Rush as well as a Smoke Bomb. They're going hard in the opener. Hodded actually getting hodged up there. Jax switching over onto him. The Barkskin coming out from Hodded in response. That was the parry as well coming out from Lossa.
Whoa, whoa,
But Hodded in a lot of trouble.
whoa,
8%, 6%
whoa!
The NS coming out the Ironbark as well. He's going to be able to stabilize, but they just force every single cooldown. They got Vigil, Barskin, Ironbark, Trinket, Shadow Mode, everything. That was a beautiful swap. Psytrix doing a lot of damage in that swap. Didn't even use his Avenging Wrath.
Yeah, Lossa now on the offensive with his Recklessness Bladestorm trying to pressure Zevs. Hodded TKO is going to have to play scared as he has no defensive cooldowns remaining. Lossa at 58%, rotted down. Tony throwing out some off heals here, desperately trying to pressure Psytrix. In the meantime, they did force Zevs to get a Void Lord out, which means Hodded TKO is going to be able to get some more cast off. He's going for a Cyclone. He's going to get hodged on it. However, they're going to be able to swap to him on it. He has nothing left. Tony has to keep him alive here. The Haunts are coming into the half kidney. Can Tony do it? He's spamming the off heals into the Death Coil, desperately trying to keep him alive. Displacer Beast comes out at 13% HP. He's finally rolling the hots on himself. The Dark Soul going to be fading. He's going to live that swap for now. Tonyjr excellently keeping him alive. He didn't heal him in that one moment. He definitely would have gone down.
Yeah, absolutely. Tonyjr recognizing that Hodded was in trouble and able to get out those heals. One of the main strengths of an enhancement trauma. Hodded actually caught into a full fear now. Caught into that Hodge as well as loaded up with dots at the moment. Antijax able to connect him, but Psytrix under a lot of trouble, under a lot of pressure. Sorry, using that gateway to get away and try to get some casts on himself. Down to 29% HP. Saber the Light proccing on him. Lossa and Tony both able to reconnect onto him. He's in a lot of trouble. He might have to use his bubble here. No Saber the Light. There's the bubble coming out from Psytrix. They were able to force that. Well done by Tonyjr and Lossa, trying to turn around this game as they've been on the back foot for most of it. Hodded still taking a lot of damage using that Ironbark himself. Has full hots, Vigil as well. Lossa now getting swapped to 50% HP. The Enraged Regeneration coming out of him, and Drop Novoz coming out of this game really strong, forcing Tony from the Bronx on the back foot from start until now.
Yep, Psytrix having to use his shield wall in the meantime. Hada TKO trying to push in here. He's going to get death coiled. I'm not sure if they have any follow-up. It might have been a bit of a waste of the death coil. You definitely want to chain that together. And now it's into a half kidney shot, and he pre-bear formed it. I don't see Hada going down to this. He's going to Displacer Beast away, dispel the dots, recover immediately with Tony's healing. And now it's Tony from the Bronx that can be on the offensive, landing a triple shockwave. Zev's going to unbound that, unbounding himself pretty low here. He's going to get cloned up at low HP. Psytrix is going to have to be aware of that, and he's still getting pressured at 50%. He's having a hard time keeping his team alive. He's going to pop the Avenging Wrath, gain a significant burst of healing right now, top himself off, shortly going to be topping off Zevs as well. And now Tonyjr and Lossa are just going to have to bide their time. CC Psytrix, try and stay alive, prepare for the next swap. Spirit Wolf's coming out, and here comes the swap. The Hodge on a Hotted. He gets to get safeguarded, and Barkskin up at the same time, but the Denounces are flying in. Psytrix being a little bit too offensive. He gets Shockwave down to 30%. A Hex onto Jax. I don't see that breaking with a clone onto Zevs. Jax is going to have to trinket that Hex to try and interrupt the heal there from Hottie. He's going to land the interrupt on the heal. Psytrix is going to survive, but the Avenging Wrath has faded. He's got no wall. He's got no major cooldowns left. He's going to get shocked on the Wog. He's freedom kiting away back to the box. Heroic Leap comes out. He's going to gate, and luckily he timed that right before the Heroic Leap, so well played by Psytrix to escape Lossa's clutches.
Yeah, absolutely. Antijax on Lossa's back. He's trying to give Psytrix as much time as he can, but now Antijax under a little bit of pressure as Lossa is targeting him. It's the only thing he can really hit. Antijax getting chunked down. Lossa actually swapping back onto Psytrix. Got a beautiful triple fear onto Antijax as well as Psytrix. Now Psytrix is the target of choice. The bash, though, onto Antijax. Lossa hitting him up right now, getting him down pretty low, 34%. The feint coming out from Antijax. So Psytrix under a lot of pressure. The split coming out of this Turbo Cleave. They're doing an excellent job keeping this team on the back foot. War Mastery coming out, bopping himself. Can Tonyjr get it off? That was a Save Out the Light proc as well as Bop, so Psytrix is going to be in a lot of trouble here. Antijax still getting targeted down by Lossa, though. Like I said, this split is working so well for them. Hotted getting death coiled up. The full Hodge on the Barkskin. This might be a little bit too late. The Rallying Cry coming out from Lossa, the NS as well. He had to use his Trinket as well as his Barkskin there a little bit late, having to overlap a lot of cooldowns to survive. Rallying Cry is going to fade, but I think he's going to survive this one.
I don't even know just yet. The Shockwave is going to land. He's still at 50% HP with no skins left. The next kidney shot could be his death if he doesn't pre-bear form it. With a little bit of CC onto Tony, the double charge stun comes through for Lossa. The Blade Storm out of that. A Capacitor Totem land out of that. Good CC chain out from Lossa and Tony. Psytrix feeling the pressure as a result. He's going to have his bubble available, though, at 60% HP. We're going to be triggering into dampening, and Psytrix's mana is already getting taxed down at 40%. Now into a full Shockwave. He did get the Hodge out onto Hodge. Unfortunately, it was into bear form. Tony going for a Hex. He's going to get locked out on it, unfortunately. Psytrix going to gate away, trying to kite with the freedom. He should be able to get away from both of them for now. The charge stun finally connecting back to Psytrix. Tony caught in a fear. Cyclone's coming out from Hada TKO onto Zevs, trying to mitigate as much damage as he can, keep his team as offensive as possible. Now switching the clone over to Antijax. He's going to get coiled, though. Unfortunately for him, the lock pet did go down, so there's not going to be a lot of extra DPS. Can they be able to kill him? He gets another pet out. 50% HP, 30% HP, 20% HP, 10%, 2%. Not going to be enough to survive Jax's killing spree. Lossa not giving up, however, popping the recklessness. I don't think he knows that Psytrix still has his bubble, and he's going to use it here to answer these last push, and they are going to just leave the game seeing that bubble. Well played from both sides, bringing it out with some incredible burst.
Yeah, and I think, was the difference that game Death Coil? Was he Death Coil the first game? I think he was Halotera the first game.
Yep.
So using that Death Coil to sort of expand their swap potential, kind of. Then you get the Hodge into Kidney Shot or Kidney Shot into Hodge as well as Death Coil. It's a lot of time Hada doesn't have to actually get Hots on himself and get into bear form if he gets caught out of it.
Well then, I did not expect that, to be quite honest with you guys, and we're only at, like, say, 7% damage.
On to Zevs, trying to mitigate as much damage as he can, keep his team as offensive as possible. Now switching the clone over to Antijax. He's going to get coiled, though. Unfortunately for him, the lock pet did go down, so there's no...
3 series. Very, very cool stuff coming out from both of these teams here. It's definitely, it's a good series so far. You know, I didn't expect much coming from an RLP, as we didn't see a lot of them represented in previous tournaments, but so far they're looking strong, man. They absolutely are. Here we go. We're gonna bring the very last map up here, and the next map is going to be requested by Tony from the Bronx, as it is loser's choice, and he's gonna request Blades Edge Arena. Well then,
interesting.
You know, I did not expect that coming out from him, so I feel like Blades Edge Arena kind of makes the Warlock not a viable kill target with his port, but they haven't really gone on the Warlock at all just yet.
Yeah, he hasn't really been targeted down at all. Even when they kill his pet, they're like, yeah, not too
They kill
interested in
his pet to alleviate Hada TKO to clone. If the Warlock pet's alive, it's really hard because if you get locked out right when Kidney Shot comes up and you get locked out for 6, kidneyed for 6, you're dead. It's over. You can't. You're not going to come back from that. So going for a Cyclone when all those interrupts are available with Deadly Throw and Step Kick and the CS pet is too much to deal with. So that's why they're focusing down the Warlock pet. And then when a Void Lord comes out instead, it's a much tankier pet, so it doesn't die as easily, but it doesn't have an interrupt. So they're able to get Cyclones off and try and get some cross EC. But right at the end, I believe Hada TK was going for a lot of clones, and if he was just preemptively in bear form. Aware of that. I think he might have just got overconfident because he had a lot of cooldowns except his trinket. So he's like, oh, I have Bark Skin, I have Iron Bark, I'll be fine. And then you get stunned into coil and you're not fine anymore. So I think they'll be ready for that, though. Maybe they weren't expecting the coil, so now that they know that's available, they're going to have to peel back a little bit harder.
And he's going to be running that Mortal Coil again. It worked out for him last game. I don't see any reason why you would change it. But I wonder what their goal is for this map. I mean, it seems like most of the time they're just trying to target down Psytrix. Is this map just easier for the Wrestler to kite on?
It might be. Maybe he's playing Wild Charge or something cheeky. I'm not sure. I kind of doubt it. But they're already pushing in onto Psytrix, forcing the shield wall out immediately. Colossus Smash coming out. A full Hex landed onto Jax. Tony going to be looking for a lot more of those this time around. Unfortunately, it's going to break. Now the Hodge landed onto Hada TKO. They're just going for the all-in. The Smoke Bomb comes out. He barkskins it. It's not going to be enough. 14% Rallying Cry. Tony has to Trinket of Fear. 15%, 20%. Rally's going to be fading in 4 seconds. He displacers. He steps back to him. It's going to go down and gets smashed from the triple pressure out from dropped Novoz, who just dropped Hotted.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Something to note about that game is the Psytrix with his wings actually did a little bit over half of the damage Antijax did. So contributing quite a bit to that kill. Ev's just starting that chain with the Death Coil, fully loading him and just spamming the haunts onto him. He wasn't really interrupted, and they just smashed Hotted so hard. I've never seen that against a Turbo Cleave before. Crazy.
Well then, drop Novoz.
A full Hex landed on the Jax. Tony going to be looking for a lot more of this.
They're here to make
time
their
around. Unfortunately, it's going to break. Now the Hodge landed on the Hada TKO. They're just going for the all-in. The Smoke Bomb comes out. He barkskins it. It's not going to be enough. 14% Rallying Cry. Tony has to Trinket of Fear. 15%, 20.
GG's. All right. That being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to the second series of tournament number 16. Let's take a quick look at who is up